Hey guys, welcome to the second episode of the Creators Corner podcast. I'm back here with the hosts, TSB TERRORCODE and Mr XGN.
Okay, before we even get started, guys, there's something we got. Mr. XGN, we got to figure this out. We had said about the ego double wide.
Yeah.
On our last podcast. I think I want to give everyone a clear image of where these opinions are coming from and the level of class that they're dealing with. Okay, so are we in? Is it a double wide? Is it a triple wide? Or is it a double wide that's 2-story?
It's got to be a 2-story double wide with an elevator that goes up to the second story.
On a sprawling, overgrown half-acre estate?
Yeah, exactly. But the elevator, so you got to walk out onto the porch. You get onto the elevator because it's not really an elevator. It's actually a forklift that has like a pallet laid on top of it. So you get onto that, and then it takes a 2-person elevator. You got to have someone to work the forklift. So they forklift you up to the second floor.
Yes. So there's 2 bedrooms upstairs. It has the window units in it. And okay, we'll get to that in just a second. All right, so it's a 2-story double wide wraparound decks.
Wraparound decks. It's done completely good. We got murals at Elvis and Dale Earnhardt everywhere.
Yes, sir. Well, there's a hand-painted 3 on each side of the double wide.
Exactly. Hand-painted.
Yes, sir. And like I said, a sprawling, overgrown half-acre estate. So, Landry, from now on the intro, broadcasting or recording live at the Ego, 2-story double wide on the sprawling, overgrown half-acre estate. That's how we'll bust into these from this point.
And there's a rusted out S10 in the front yard, and it's got like a mountain of beer cans, like just everywhere. And make sure you mention that over the mantle that there is a hand painted mural of Dale Earnhardt wearing a crucifix, because praise Dale and praise the Lord, because I mean that's all we gotta do, man. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, there has to be a velvet picture of Elvis in there also.
It needs to be one of those 3-dimensional pictures with the waterfall in the back, so you can have like the water dripping down. Those are classy. You can only get those in Avon. You know what I'm
saying?
Yeah. Absolutely.
You had to order that special.
Listen, hey, we're gonna make this thing a reality. We need to start looking for sponsors now, and we need to find us some fucking water beds.
MTV, you're looking for something to replace Jersey Shore. This is it.
Listen,
this is it.
Okay, now since we have the house established, we'll talk about our crew that are going to come stay there with us, and how I'm going to say this: if they would, pack up and go home, or if they would flourish in the environment. And I say, all right, Callie would have to come, obviously, but Callie, he's a soul cowboy. I can't see him surviving that environment. I feel like he'd make it about 3 days.
I actually feel like it's the opposite. I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like that Callie, in fact, hasn't had an opportunity to flourish because he's not been in his natural habitat. Like, Callie is white trash at heart. Like, dude, he gets drunk, he gets sad on Xbox. I'm telling you, Callie is white trash at heart.
Okay. I'm going to say that there would absolutely be one fatality, and that would be Helios XDG, because he would smoke himself retarded. Someone would talk him into eating rotten food and drinking tainted water, and he would die of food poisoning and dysentery. So,
look, calling it early.
See,
Angel and Despair would flourish.
Yep.
TSB Darth would have a total meltdown, and he would break completely down because he does not understand people that do things that are not logical. I call him Mr. Spock, so he could not understand the randomness of how this house would operate. Hype, I think XGN Hype would be there. He's got a funny accent. Probably he's never drank a Dr. Pepper. He's from somewhere up north. I don't think he could survive.
Hype could not make it. Hype doesn't know what it feels like to drink a Mountain Thunder. You know what I'm saying? He does not know.
He's never had one in his hand.
Hey, he does not know what a Mountain Holler feels like.
No, I don't think Hype could survive. Rita, I think Rita would be okay. I think little Rita would be okay.
No, it's not even Mountain Holler. It's Holler Dew. He doesn't even know what a Holler Dew is. He doesn't even know what a holler is.
No, he's never seen a holler in his life.
Never.
For life, his girlfriend wouldn't let him come because she's got him pretty beat down. System would come there and flourish because he can get along with just about anybody.
Man.
Landry would have an anxiety attack. She couldn't even come visit me while I stayed there because she freaks out at the things that I do. So
I'd meet you at the end of the road.
yeah.
See, I really was thinking Veritas would make it, but the more I think about it, I just feel like he would get cut on the rust from the S10, getting in and out and get tetanus and probably die because he ain't got no tetanus shot. He ain't taking care of himself. He ain't living right. He ain't living right.
You think he's an anti-vaxxer?
I 100% think he has never been vaccinated ever. He would get tetanus on our rusted out S10, and it'd be the end of it.
Okay, yeah, I could see that being a thing. Anybody else from your side you think you'd like to bring?
Man, I feel like VT is cut out for this, man. I feel
VT
like
would thrive in that environment.
VT would thrive and succeed and prosper and evolve realistically as a person. I feel like BT would start growing the mullet. I mean, it would come full force. He would start growing the mullet, and it would actually make him stronger. He would gain strength from the mullet.
He would gain strength from the mullet.
Yeah. We hook him up to an IV. He has the holler do literally going through the IV, like while he's sitting in his lazy boy. It's lazy boy we got from Big Sandy Super Center. We pay payments every month.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we have definitely. I think people understand what they're dealing with now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you know the intro from now on, Landry.
Gotcha.
Man, that really did take up 10 minutes. We just had to let them know. We had to put them in the place of where they was at, where we're coming from, and I think they're a lot more connected with us on a spiritual level now.
Yeah. Right. And keep in mind at this house, there's always going to be gunshots going off, loud music. Somebody's passed out somewhere. Somebody's
hand-painted political signs out front.
Yeah, we ain't never. The electric bill ain't due till disconnect notice comes, baby. You know what I'm saying? Look,
listen, we'll pay it online when the guy rolls up out there.
We'll pay it online. Be like, we'll come out, we'll print it off while he's in the driveway, bring it out there, and be like, look, I paid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He'll be on the pole. He'll be climbing. Yeah.
Yeah. We'd have to be careful around Despair because he likes to get high and carry his pistol around a lot. So we'd just, he'd have to. Yeah. That's what I mean by gunshots. We'd definitely have the upstairs. Would definitely have to have the window units and then space heaters to heat it in the wintertime.
Yeah, 100%.
And we'd have a wood burning stove downstairs.
Yeah, I think we just have a kerosene heater out there. You know what I'm saying?
I can go with that.
Yeah, hey, don't worry, baby. That black stuff, that's just soot under your nose. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, once a month we'd go round up all the damn old tires that that everybody had in their yards, and we'd have a big ass bonfire.
Yeah, bonfire keep us warm for a few days. Yeah,
everybody be covered in black rubber from the damn tires.
Yep. Oh man, that's horrible.
So I can't.
We need sponsors, and we got to find these damn water beds. And
I done gave Holler Do some free ad space.
Listen, the 2-story part, it's built. They took oil field pipe and just run it down beside the double wide.
Yeah.
So we can't put water beds up there because you've seen those. Hell, I've seen 2-story campers, man. I've seen 2-story single wides around. In the poor sections where I grew up. So they're not exactly stable the higher up you go.
Look, whenever someone buys a double wide or a trailer, that's just the starting point. They start building around the motherfucker. They adding rooms, they adding floors and steps. Man, that's just your frame. That's just your starting home. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, we could go, hey, look here, we could go to Walmart and get one of those big ass swimming pools. We could put a slide in from the second floor out.
Oh man, that would be fire. That would be absolutely fire. And then fill the pool up with literal mountain holler.
Listen, those people need to come through with some money. We can do that.
Those are our kind of people. Man, I can see Fago sponsoring us.
Yeah. Shasta.
Yeah.
Good old Shasta.
Yeah.
Man.
I don't think we could get any sound choice or anything like that. I don't think those people would.
No, they ain't interested.
Yeah, that's too classy for us.
Hey,
for sure.
I was telling people how if they want to know, if anybody watching wants to know what it's like where I live, if you have Amazon Prime, watch The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia, and I want you to really enjoy that. And that is my people.
I really wanted to see that.
Hey, if you want to know what it's like where we're at in Texas, watch Friday Night Lights because that is real.
Honestly.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We got the intro taken care of.
Yeah, that was
So-
good.
So we've painted a picture of where we're coming from, and you know the type of people that are going to be giving these opinions. What type of future guests are we going to expect from the Creators Corner?
Just a wide variety. We'll be able to reach to people in clans, some people that are streamers, people, retired gamers, retired professional gamers, people that are still actively in the scene. I think we can talk to a lot of people and a lot of names that help put, for good or bad, the community scenes where they are now. And people talk all this shit, which is interesting. Corey had sent me something earlier, but if it weren't for clans and it wasn't for Halo, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing right now. If it wasn't for those two things, that propelled this thing that we're doing right now to where it's at. And that's my opinion on it.
Well, I mean, I want to have a variety of guests, you know what I'm saying, as well. I mean, I feel like having people, like he said, from the scene, people that's been important to the culture, people that have taken part in everything that we're trying to do. Also people from our real life, family members, so forth and so on, that kind of can give perspective. I think we mentioned before as well. Just different people from the gaming industry as a whole. I mean, I would love this to get big enough to where we could have, different, game developers, different people on here that can give perspective on things and, kind of talk about the gaming as a whole as well. I mean, this is a clan-based, podcast that we're trying to do here, but, we want to cover a wide variety. And I mean, honestly, if I can't get Stone Cold Steve Austin on here, I don't know what's going to happen.
What's it all for?
Listen, to be on this show, one of the main criteria is you had to have lived in a trailer house at some point in your life, or you had to have lived in a home where someone showed up on Friday and said, we have to be out before 5 this evening, and the landlord comes by and you're loading your shit in trash bags and getting gone.
If watching WWE wasn't mandatory in your household, then just tune out right now.
Yeah.
This is for you.
Yeah. Because we're hitting you with some stone cold facts up in here.
Oh, shit, man. But nah, like what you said, though, I kind of want to elaborate on what you said as well. Like, yeah, like, there's just so much lack of understanding of the scene and so many people that I see personally that just don't have like any respect for like the people that have, put in literal decades into this and has, sacrificed so much to ensure the experience of, tens and tens of thousands of people.
Yeah.
And it's just mind blowing to me. And I feel like by bringing some of the guests that we want to bring onto here, it'll hopefully, open the eyes to some of the new generation that just doesn't have that sort of respect or, any gratitude at all.
Right. I mean, it's amazing to see what started before Xbox Live and came to Xbox Live, and then what it's transitioned from. Because, like I say, if it weren't for Halo and if it weren't for clans carrying it in the beginning, what would we be doing right now? Gaming as a whole wouldn't be where it is.
Before the sniping scene, before everyone was trying to spin in circles, before the esports, before all that, I mean, this is what was first. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the beginning. So, I mean, it's just kind of lame to see some people not show respect to that.
I agree 100%.
Got you guys. So, just kind of going off of the type of people that you guys are trying to bring, just other people in the scene, what are your top 5 clans of all time?
That's tough. Top 5 and as in overall that I enjoyed being around. Top 5 that pushed clans. And I mean, KSI obviously started everything. From my perspective, old MEA was a force back when,
Oh, you're gonna love my list.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
I'm kind of an egotistical asshole. TSB and J2H would have to go on any list. Top 5 that I mean, Clans kind of avoided me, to be honest with you, so I have to go by a lot of. I have to go by a lot of. I guess that's 4. Go ahead, Corey.
All right, man, you're gonna love this. All right, for better or for worse, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to give number 1 and 2 the KSI and NBA. I'm gonna tell you why. All right, because if it wasn't showing you what to do, they damn sure showed you what not to do. You know what I'm saying? They damn sure. I mean, they damn sure, showed you what not to do. And then if you add up like all the people that, including myself, that if I didn't have to experience that, if I didn't get to experience that, who's to say if I would have been here or if a lot of people would have been here. So like to me, I have to give them that spot. For better or for worse, it doesn't mean when I say top 5, I'm saying top 5 influential people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, or clans. Like, to me, whether it's good or bad, that's influential. And then after that, I would say TSB, J2H, and XGN in no particular order. But I feel like that we kind of, well, for one, name a new generation clan that actually is still around. I mean, that kind of we were that next generation that kind of set the tone and kind of set the new agenda, essentially. And like we kind of just stuck with it, and we just kept going and had that longevity. So to me, it's KSI, MEA, TSB, J2H, and XGN. That's my top 5.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing said there that I can't agree with. And for better or worse, you think about like KSI and MEA. Nodis in his prime, it's easy to see why people followed him because he had a way about him. And MEA Lucky Mr. 7, Lucky when he was sober was very charismatic and a very smart man. He put MEA, he put them on the level with KSI, and he got KSI to acknowledge that by continually warring with each other.
Yeah.
Because when you go to war with someone, you're saying they're on your level. And he got Nodis to
out of full composure.
Yeah. He got Nodis to acknowledge him so many times. And no one will ever really know how many people were in MEA in their heyday, but Lucky carried them up the totem pole. You know what I mean? And he put people in places. I really like Lucky. I enjoyed my time around him. It's just that he made mistakes when he would start drinking and things like that, and the way he talked to people. But Lucky was one of those people that he was always plotting, because he would sit there and, we'd be in parties together, and he'd always say things. He'd be like, if TSB just absorbed J2H, think how strong you guys would be, or if there were only one single leader over there, think of what it was. And so you always had to be on your guard around him because he was constantly planting seeds.
See, I never really got an opportunity to talk to him like that or get to know him ever. But just whenever he was in Bill's party, I mean, that was literally it. 7-7's party, that was it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even, to me, I feel like that's a fair list. I feel like there's tons of clans and, that are, right under that. I'm not saying that, I feel like XGN's like the greatest shit in the world. I just feel like, as far as influence and what's happened and what's been influenced and the clans that's been inspired and trend setting, I feel like those are the top 5. For sure.
Do you want to add a 5th one, TerrorCode?
XGN. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can 100% agree with that. Like, you can't name 5 clans that's done more for Xbox Live than what 5 clans that we just listed. And you guys feel free to post on the Twitter,
I mean,
you just agree with our list.
Most of the clans I know, the clan leaders was Mr. Insert clan name, so I mean they can't say shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw one of my questions in because I think it'll go really well into the next one. I would like you guys to maybe just give more details or give advice to somebody out there who's just kind of wanting to start their own community?
The advice I give every new clan that comes around me is, listen, for a year, don't worry about anybody but your clan. Don't try to make allies. Don't make enemies. Build your clan and establish your core. And then you can start trying to branch out. But you have to establish a core group of people who believe in what you're doing, get your feet on the ground, kind of tweak your code of conduct, tweak your handbook, tweak things to make them work, and establish that, and then start worrying about the rest of the Xbox Live world. That's the best advice I've given that, and every clan that's ever taken that advice is still around.
I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I feel the exact same way. I feel like the first years of like XGN, like you never saw us have an ally. Like it was actually on our website that we weren't interested in allies or affiliations and stuff like that, just because I felt like we only had enough time to focus on us, and we were still trying to figure out who we were. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's the number one thing to me is take your time with things, take that year or longer, and just figure out your identity and, kind of perfect what you're doing. Whenever I see a clan pop up as well, and they have a whole board of directors, they have like 3 allies, they're part of a network, they, all this stuff, and they don't even have a squad yet. It's just kind of, I can't take it serious. You know what I mean? Like, I can't tell you how many clans, like, I don't know why you want to start filling out your board, at that kind of early of a stage. Like when I made XGN, I made a lot of mistakes. I kind of, started with the board, kind of did that whole wave of things. I ended up having to press reset and then going back and then making myself a division leader as the highest rank and then building from there and then expanding outwards. So I'm a huge believer that you don't want to have, too many leaders and not enough members and, not enough people to actually lead and to work with and, to have activity. Another sense of advice I can give is in the beginning, you are your activity. You are the person that has to get out there, to make sure you're online. Don't be in close. You can't, I can be in a closed party right now. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't do that. You need to be with your people 24/7. You need to be connecting them with other people. I don't know if you had a forums or not, but I remember when I had a forums, TerrorCode, I would be on there posting nonstop. I would create other accounts to make my forums look more active than they were, just because I knew you had to have activity to produce activity.
Yeah.
I mean, you really gotta just stay focused and be willing to take hits, be willing to fail, be willing to change, be willing to adapt, and don't get ahead of yourself is the number one thing I can say.
Yeah, how many times did clans come to you and they formed a week and a half ago? They have a Hall of Fame, a board of directors, a head of security, a head of media, and they got 14 members. And, you immediately don't take those people serious. I had this same discussion, ironically enough, with your friends, the NEX kids, a couple of months ago. We were in a Discord call, and they were saying, well, we have these people doing that. And I said, why do you have a board of directors? I said, you just started your clan, and you literally have kids at the corporal rank or whatever it is that have done more work than the people on your board of directors for NEX. And they argued, and they said, well, we've done all this. I said, you did all that in XGN. What have you done in NEX? You have people doing work, and you haven't. If you're going to be the people in this clan, you have to do work for this clan. So what you're saying is it's exactly right. Like, don't start with a board of directors. Make people work their way. Make them show you they're going to work.
And if you think, dude, you were, we've been in the scene together. For a fact, like up until the last few years, people didn't even know I was on the scene. You know what I'm saying? Like I stayed hidden. I stayed to myself. I stayed secluded. I worked on stuff, and that was always our kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't some, people just aren't as humble as I think they should be. I think it's important to remain humble, and especially when you're new and starting out. I stayed to my corner of the internet, and I worked my ass off. You know what I mean? And that's what it really takes to build a foundation.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that's really cool that you both can give advice and talk openly about that, because I could definitely see how people consider both of you to be intimidating, and to be able to give advice and tell people, hey, these are the mistakes I made or we made. This is how you do better than that. Like, I think that's really cool, and it shows the type of people that you guys are. Kind of going off of that, back in, not even just back in the day, just overall, what games do you think are best to recruit of all time?
Halo 3, Halo 2, even up to Halo Reach. I mean, that's where we built our core and our nucleus. I mean, that's the only game I played. We really started expanding dramatically when Modern Warfare 2 was a thing, but for me, it was always Halo 3, especially.
I feel like if you're talking about in the broad spectrum of clans as a whole, I feel like definitely like Halo 2 and Halo 3, and even Halo Reach was super impactful for clans as a whole. For XGN, like how we originally got our success is, I'll never forget it, and I feel like it was just the way time aligned. Is Modern Warfare 3 actually had just come out, and Black Ops was out, Black Ops 1. We stayed on Black Ops and recruited like hecka. Like we recruited, completely skipped Modern Warfare 3 completely. When Black Ops 2 came out after that, we had the base on Black Ops 1, so we hit the game running. Like, we hit the game recruiting. Like, we had probably, like, bubbling, like, around 1,000 people. And then when that came out, it was just to the roof. You know what I mean? Like, every Black Ops 2 lobby almost, like, there was someone in XGN, like, in the lobby. Especially S&D. Like, it got to the point, like, I think I have videos on my channel. I would join the S&D lobbies, and every time, it never failed. Every time I would be recognized. Every single time. It wasn't like just by chance or like one off. It was every single Black Ops 2 S&D lobby. Someone in that lobby knew who I was or knew what XGN was. You know what I mean? So to me, Black Ops 2, and for a lot of clans, I'm sure will say this, and especially anyone that was in XGN at that time, will say that Black Ops 2 was the best game to recruit on, and to me was really the last big game that our scene had before Xbox One came out and everything changed. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So I'd have to say BO2. I feel like Black Ops 2 was definitely my like game changing.
Cool. Who are some notable people who've come from the scene? Like, I guess professional gamers that are famous now that you guys remember playing with back in the day.
Nagafin is he's on a COD team now. I mean, he was in MEA, and then they broke off their whole Iron Guard division, which is their best COD division. That's where Kills, Pickle, Satan, all those guys, they left and they formed IRG, which merged into TSB. And Nagafin was always just a step ahead of everybody. Like, I was drinking one night and I challenged him to a 1v1 on Black Ops, and we were on Nuketown, and I couldn't even hide. He knew where to throw grenades, and when I couldn't even lay down and just belly crawl somewhere. He was just killing me. It was I've never been beat that bad in my life, and I'll never forget that. He was one of the better COD players, and of course, a lot of Halo players. I know Fearnoia and all those guys that were big back in the day that really aren't, as active now as they used to be. A lot of Halo guys.
Yeah.
A lot of Halo guys.
I mean, I know for a fact, just from watching videos that I didn't know, but, FaZe Rain went over some of his old gamer tags, and a few of the FaZe guys came from KSI. Like, his gamer tag was KSI Rain, and I remember watching the video of them going over their past gamer tags, and they were like, yo, you were in KSI? I was in KSI. And they were like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Dude, someone's literally cutting grass outside my house right now. Do you hear this?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm about to get fucking pissed. Give me a second. I can edit this out.
Okay.
Oh my god. Are you fucking shitting me? Where the fuck am I gonna go? Alright, let's try this. Alright. But anyways, I definitely know that some of the KSI guys came from, not KSI guys, some of the FaZe guys came from KSI. And that's where they started because they were going over their gamer tags and different clans they've been in and what they've been a part of. And it was kind of a shock to me because if you think about these people, they have millions and millions of subscribers, right? Like tens of millions of followers. And they started like right here in this scene. And that's mind blowing to me. And then you think about the YouTuber KSI that literally got his name from KSI.
Rip the name off.
Do you ever hear of him or know anything about his story?
No, I mean, look at Keemstar had a clan back in the day, FAG, FAG.
Oh yeah, Federation of Asshole Gamers. And his big start was literally going after KSI and MEA. That's how he really got started.
Yeah, he had the video. Lucky had it on his channel forever of him 1v1 in Keemstar. And Lucky's going so try hard, and Keemstar's just out in the middle of the map, teabagging the air, letting Lucky kill him over and over. And Lucky's like, "You can't stand with MEA," and Keemstar's just trolling the shit out of him.
There was literally rap battles. Like MEA, to this day, you can still find MEAs where like they're real life like dissing Keemstar and FAG. It's hilarious. That's the funniest shit in the world. And then he actually replied, but that's long gone now. But I mean, people like that, and that's just people we know about. I mean, imagine the people that are just too ashamed to tell anyone, like that just don't want anyone to know. But there's probably tons. But I mean, just those people right there alone are some of the top % of entertainers, like in gaming. So
yeah, I have a guy on my friends list. He's been playing with me since Halo 3. And he was a pro Halo player. He works for Microsoft now. He won't join my parties.
wow.
He'll talk to me on Snapchat and Facebook, but he like avoids me on Xbox. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean that
I wonder.
he's like a developer and shit for Microsoft now. I'm like, oh, okay,
Well,
that's cool.
Also, I forgot, but whenever I got with Rogue Energy that helped me get that sponsorship, it's because their lead photographer actually used to be an XGN and was like a staff member, and now he went on to be like the lead photographer for Rogue Energy and a few different companies. I'm pretty sure. I'd love to have him on here one day. That would be interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tons of people.
Why do you think that, or why do you feel that they left the scene?
I mean, each one's going to have probably a unique story, but a lot of it is probably drama from clans, toxicity, things that happened in clans. There was some corruption in clans. I mean, just a lot of various reasons. They felt like they could probably prosper without a clan name, and that's a shame to hear. But I've actually heard that they didn't want clan names because they didn't want it to affect their prospect of making it big.
Well, I mean, I feel like as well, a huge part of it could be something that, we're working to change, and that a lot of people in the scene are working together to change. Is just, the lack of opportunity, right? We're working to offer more opportunities for the people of talent, for the people that want to explore, more. So I feel like, gaming clans as a whole in our scene, more than ever, is working to offer these routes of success and ways where they don't have to feel like they have to leave the scene just to succeed, or leave the same thing, if people that live in a small town, etc., leave the small town, they think whatever. But if you bring more opportunities to that town, then people will start sticking around, and that's what we want to do. We want to encourage people to, stick around, to stay, loyal, to stay here and prosper and stay here to succeed. And I feel like in XGN and all communities, that's everyone's goal right now, is just creating long-term opportunities for people.
Yeah.
So.
For sure. What's one clan that you felt would make it but didn't?
Right off the top of my head, DBD. When Respect and Slayer started it, they got huge on the 360. I thought they would be around for
I thought they were gone.
They're gone. But
no, I mean, I thought they were gone in a good way, like growth.
Yeah. And then it just boom overnight, So, but yeah, that clan to me stands out. I was going to say VOS, but to me, DVD had, as far as clans go, the most potential to actually be around and stay around.
You remember a clan? Forgot the leader. I think his name was I forgot it all completely, but it was NEG, New Era Gaming. It was a clan that actually got a few thousand people. I forgot what the leader's name was and anything about him, but right in 2010, 2011, 2012, we were neck and neck. I mean, I was watching their growth, watching their activity, CMS, and we were watching neck and neck. And then one day shit just fell apart, but it was called NEG, I think. Yeah, they had a real good site, real good thing. Another clan I thought that had a real good solid base, a good site, a good everything was LHR.
Yeah.
LHR was set up, really good. And I don't know what happened with that. So, I mean,
I don't know. I don't even know if Royalty is still around, but I always liked him.
Another clan, I don't know if you probably remembered, it was like Iconic Gaming, IG, on 360. Yeah. I thought that they were gone. I thought, they were on the top 100 clans, and I thought they were super, stable. But, I mean, clans like that, I mean, there's been a few that I feel like had the numbers, had the resources, had it, and like I said, people just quit. People just give up too soon. I mean, a lot of times people grow out of it. It is what it is. There's tons of reasons.
Yeah. Yep.
For sure. Another question that I kind of just wanted to ask you guys is that gaming is definitely a man's world right now, and there are notable women gamers, and you guys both have some boss bitches in your communities, but how do you guys handle misogyny when it's brought to you? Like when the female gamers come to you, or the women gamers come to you and tell you that they're dealing with certain things from leadership, how do you guys handle that, or how would you expect it to be handled?
I mean, I'm on anything. If someone in TSB, for whatever reason, feels like they're being mistreated or looked over or passed over because of any reason, I'm on that shit. Like, that's my thing. I've always said TSB is a collection of outcasts and broken people, and I always wanted to provide a place where they felt like they didn't have to worry about that shit. They were safe inside our confines, So, I mean, because you're obviously close to me, but I promote people that are good leaders. I don't give a shit what your sexual preference is, what your religion is, what your gender is. I don't care. And that's my perspective as an older man. I mean, when I was younger, I thought I had completely different ideas about the world. But also having a daughter, I mean, I don't want any limitations set on my daughter, so I try to not put limitations on other people as well. And I don't mess with that shit. I want to see people reach their full potential. So I would handle that very harshly. I would deal with that really quick.
I mean, I've always been similar in the same way, in the same task. I mean, I've always kept it, pretty, zero tolerance for disrespect, to women. I mean, I feel like whenever, whenever you even join, one of the excess communities that's in there, it asks you, do you have a problem with, women in leadership? Because that's just something that unfortunately, that some people do.
Yeah.
And we want it to be known from the beginning that this isn't the place for you, because we do have my VP, Bree is, a female, like Noob, like some of the most talented people, the most core people that keeps things going are women, and, they work right alongside the men, and they do, it just works. It's a cohesive team. And I feel like that if we didn't have that kind of environment, or didn't kind of try to generate that type of environment and have that, inclusive feeling, that we wouldn't be as successful as we've been able to be now. I wouldn't have the kind of leaders like Bree and Noob. And, that's just a couple. Like I could go on and on. Tex. That there's constant, success that comes from the females in the community. And like TerrorCode, I've always tried to make it, known that regardless if you're a man, woman, whatever your personal beliefs are, personal hobbies, anything personal, you're welcome here, and you can prosper here. It's about what, you're willing to do for the community, what you're willing to do for, the people, and that you have a good heart and good intentions behind your actions. And that's all that matters to me. So
obviously there are people of both genders, people of every race, people of every religion who make that section look bad by the way they portray themselves.
yeah.
As a man, I see other men in the way they talk, and I'm like, fuck, that's embarrassing, dude. Get your shit together. And I'm sure that's for everyone, because you have to. I tell my leaders this all the time. Your people will mimic your actions. You have to set an example 24/7. A leader never takes time off. You're always a leader, because I can't go somewhere and be a down follower. I am who I am, and you're the same way. I mean, that's just who we are. And if you're truly a leader, you're always going to lead.
Yeah. And, like, I just feel that a lot of people kind of just lose track of that and kind of just get stuck in, the wrong intentions of things. And I feel like those people always find a way to get themselves out of the clan. Because if you come here and you're not respecting people, and you're not, doing, representing yourself appropriately, then you're not going to last very long. You know what I mean?
I agree.
What do you guys think is a good leader then? If you want to go kind of into more details on that.
Okay. A good leader is not afraid to make mistakes. A good leader is not afraid to talk to people about things before they do them. A good leader always takes accountability and is responsible for the good and bad. You can't just say that was my decision when it was good. You have to own the decisions you made that didn't work out the way you had planned. And those are the people that I look for, willing to be accountable for their actions, willing to be transparent with me and the people around them, and willing to take risks, as long as they're within the hemisphere of what we set forth at, as far as our moral standard, but hey, I'm going to start a squad on this game and see how it happens. Hell yeah, go ahead. I mean, to me, you have to be willing to take some calculated risk. And I want another thing is, I don't need yes men. I need people who are going to give me their honest opinion. Like I say, transparency.
Yeah, there's a ton of bobbleheads that just say yes and agree with everything. And, with me, I mean, I value someone that's going to, push me to succeed, push me to, make the right decisions. And as a leader, I feel like that's what you should want as well. Like, you can't be a leader and just expect that you have, all the right answers, and that you're never going to be wrong, or there's never going to be a time where you need to rely on your leadership team and your peers. You know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of people fail themselves by just not having the willingness to listen to the people that they are working around, not having the willingness to be open with one another, being open with their, people, essentially. Because being a good leader, you have to be open-minded. You have to be ready, like you said, to take accountability for your actions. If you mess up, what's important is that you fix it. Because as a leader, the whole thing to me, and it kind of goes back on the last topic, the whole thing, like, do as I say and not as I do, doesn't work in this. You know what I mean? Like, you have
No.
to be the example. You have to set the example. You have to, you know, be the part, even if you're not. Because I know there's a lot of people listening, a lot of clan leaders listening, that, and we both know that you probably aren't ready to lead a clan. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
you better act the fucking part, because you're already here. You done did it. You got people to change their name. You done created it. You better act the part until you know the part.
Yep.
Or you'll lose it all.
That's it right there.
Okay, guys. We are coming up on 45 minutes. So, do you guys have any closing comments you guys want to add?
I'll just throw this out there at Corey real quick. I just lit the grill, bud.
Oh my God, bro. Listen, let me tell you, man. I'm gonna tell you. If this airs during NASCAR races or anything serious going on, I can't make it. I just cannot make it. If this goes on, if this starts to interfere with my WWE schedule or anything like that, guys, there will have to be a guest host, because I am very strict on NASCAR, WWE, and televised gospel.
Our Dallas Cowboy football games.
Dallas Cowboy
Amen.
football game. Amen.
Listen here. I got us a couple of them 55-gallon trash barrels, what we call them. I'm going to cut the tops out. We'll start throwing some wood down in there, having some of the, they sell those fancy-ass little fire pits.
Yeah.
We'll make us some ourselves.
Hey, man, we can't have none of that fancy shit, man. We can't have none of that. Anything that can be done, anything that can be bought can be made. Period.
I think everybody that stays at the Ego House should have a mullet. What do you think about Callie? You think he can grow a mullet?
I feel like he could do the mullet, but he could also braid them and have like a mullet cornrow situation.
Yeah,
like half
mullet,
Callie, half cornrows.
Yeah,
that would be crazy.
I'm not convinced he could make it. You seem to be pretty set.
I really think he can make it, man. I feel like me and Callie, we could definitely play some beer pong. We can watch some NASCAR. He enjoys sports. He drinks. I mean, it would work out perfect.
Just gotta lower his standards just a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, Landry, how bad do you think Darth would melt down at this house?
Oh, absolutely. It's what is the logic in that? I don't understand why you're doing that.
Why?
I feel like KSI 77 is made for this house, and it would make it so much more fun. It would be like a ride. Like, seriously, think about all the mood swings, like the late nights coming in, flipping BT's bed over and calling him fucking names. And, dude, it would just be perfect.
Like he has been on Twitter?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the fact that Elder Pooh is a world-renowned bank robber or some shit. What was it? Dude, it's just nuts.
I can't even follow some of those trains of thought out. So
I can see Billy Roach in a mullet.
100% I can see Billy Roach.
He's had a mullet. In the last 16 months, he's had a mullet. I feel it, man.
Yeah. I mean, not to be exclusive, since we were talking about female roles in clans and things, I think Cuddly could make it there. She'd be trying to organize shit. She'd stay frazzled all the time.
Absolutely.
Cuddly, Landry, and Ivy all have to have mullets.
Ivy would just stay high and giggle a lot.
But everyone, they got to have mullets, though.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, Cuddly probably has had one in her lifetime.
I want one of them armadillo hats.
I want one of the hard hats that's got the beer can holders, with the straw coming down.
I want one of those, but an armadillo hat with the beer can holder.
Listen, by God.
We're
going to cook some roadkill tonight.
Twinsies.
Yeah.
I got one of those basic black and orange Harley Davidson jackets. I'm going to cut the sleeves off so it's like a vest.
Oh, hell.
Hey, I got a pair of gloves with the fingers cut out. You can wear them.
Oh, that's a powerful statement right there.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah.
Hey, if your wallet don't have a chain attached to it, get the fuck out.
And every day, everybody in the house has to shotgun a beer and smash the can on their forehead.
Yeah, we don't have a swimming pool. We just bathe in the creek.
You got it. Well, no, we're not going to have running water. I
Yeah.
mean, listen,
Creek water, that's it.
That's it right there. I don't know
100%
what kind of
fueled off
sponsors
creek
these
water.
people think that. I don't know what kind of sponsors these people think we're going to be able to get, but I'm not sure we're going to have water or electricity.
Off grid.
Off grid, 100% surviving off creek water.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, we could. You know what we could do is we could get us a portable welder and get an extension cord and put a male adapter on each end and plug one end into one of the sockets in the house. Turn the breakers going out off, and you could fire up most of the 110 stuff in the house that way.
I shit you not, for 2 years when I was little, I was about 11 years old, we lived in a damn trailer, and it ran off an extension cord. We had shit running everywhere. The extension cords went everywhere. We had extension cords run. Hey, well, you laugh, man. They can run. You run a washing machine off extension cord. I swear to God, you can.
Oh, yeah.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
Our whole house was extension cords. The bathroom was, you had to walk in there with a flashlight. There was no damn light working. I was like, damn, ain't no light in here. Shit, it was terrible.
I was fortunate enough not to ever have to live like that growing up. Most of that kind of shit started when I became a teenager and moved out on my own.
Yeah.
And I had an apartment, and I had one of the big tube TVs that was set on a cooler. And when we had a whole bunch of money and that cooler was full too, we'd have to lift the TV up to get the beer out of it.
See, I get that, man, but my situation was I had one of them big floor model TVs that was sitting on the floor. See, you think I was watching that? Nope, that bitch been broken for 10 years. I was watching the little 22-inch that was on top of it.
Each TV got smaller.
Like, I had the Disney TV. You already know, man. It had the damn DVD player built in. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good time right there.
That was, man. All right, we done rambled on for fucking. This is just going to be us being backwoods as fuck for like. We can start a whole nother podcast where we just go on and just fucking talk about being backwoods for like ever.
Okay. Well,
oh yeah.
Thank you guys, as always, for speaking openly. Everybody, stay tuned for future episodes of the Creators Corner, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Before we go, one last thing. If you guys are running Ethernet cords from house to house, make sure it's the weatherproof ones or they will fuck